Hello.
Welcome to the end of episode 10.
Welcome to our third last interrogation room. And you know what, guys? This is where it gets exciting. We get to interrogate Governor Vera Bennett. She's in the interrogation seat. She's in the hot seat, and we're going to go hard today.
Whoa!
And we're going to ask her all the tough questions. Now, I've just stolen Kate, the beautiful Kate, from our big Foxtel announcement tonight from the event. That's where she's been. That's why she's all dolled up.
I know. I don't normally hang around with high hair and cocktail frocks.
Yes, you do. Every Tuesday.
Take off the governor's uniform and do this. No, I've just been at the Horden Pavilion making an enormous announcement for Foxtel. It's the packaging of their new branding. It's called Foxtel Now, which is making Foxtel open to a wider audience. It's making it more affordable and accessible for everyone, so that anyone who hasn't had the joy and horror of being part of the Wentworth audience can perhaps join you all, which would be great.
It's very exciting, but not as exciting as the interrogation room is about to happen.
Let's do that.
So let's move right along. We're going to talk about tonight's episode because Ep 10, crazy episode, which they're all crazy, but I would like to call this mere anarchy. That's the actual
because it's the title.
Yeah. No, that was mine. That was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Let's talk about what everyone's talking about, and let's unpack. That's the word of these interrogation rooms. The Vera, Jake, and Mr. J triangle. So we know that Mr. J and Vera have a very long-term, alliance or relationship, like friendship, professional and personal friendship. Jake's come into the picture. Mr. J knows he's a snake. He can't prove he's a snake.
Yeah.
And Vera's in love with him. She's utterly and completely let down all of her walls, and she's in love with him.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to hear a bar of it.
I know.
But I think, tonight's episode really had her start to question that.
Yeah. In a very conflicted spot. And look, I guess in the larger picture, I guess we've all had a girlfriend, or we've all been in a position where someone's done something where you go, open your eyes. And Vera is that person, but she's also, I've always said this about Vera from the very beginning of the show, that she's kind of emblematic of the kind of person who's not behind bars. She hasn't committed a crime. She's not a prisoner. But she is enslaved and imprisoned by a certain life circumstance, by incredibly limited social experience. And it's excruciating to watch her do this stuff. But it's also part of I wouldn't say pleasure, but the challenge of having to play these scenes. It should also be said that Bernard Curry is a completely delightful human being. So there's a lot of make-believe going on here.
He's not really a snake, guys.
Yeah, he's really not. This is all make-believe. It's excruciating to have to do this stuff, but you have to remember that Vera doesn't see all the stuff that you guys see. She only sees, the angle which Jake presents to her.
Yeah.
And, it may be a cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason. She is blinded by love, or even, I don't think she knows what love is, and I think sometimes she is blinded by the desire to want something that's normal, that other people have, that she even sees prisoners have. Her whole, from series 1, which we've watched Vera observe people with real affections and real commitments, and she's never had that. So she's almost trying to make it happen by believing it. So I know it's really hard to watch. It's very dramatic.
But in the interrogation room where we had Bernie, and we're talking to Bernie from the other side of it. I think audiences, and people may disagree with me, but there is a part of Jake that I think genuinely cares for Vera, but he's caught up he's so deep in shit, and he's totally completely being manipulated by the freak that he can't get away from that. And I think you kind of see that in tonight's episode when he storms into Turk and he tries to be. He finally finds some balls and he tries to be, but then he's still manipulated by the circumstance that he has himself in.
He's terribly trapped, but he's trapped by his own mistakes. He's trapped by the, incredible machine that Ferguson is. Which one of us has beaten her yet? None of us. So he's trapped by that. He's trapped by, he's almost as childish as Vera in some ways. He's just kind of makes mistakes, digs himself deeper, and then tries to. But I think one of the things that does come out of episode 10, is I think he's equally confused and perturbed and upset by the amount that he's hurt this woman.
Yeah.
Partly because I think it's a horrible thing to hurt another human being, but partly because I think he realises he's going to lose something.
Yeah. And I think while we're on the subject of it, just a quick throwback from tonight's episode. The Happy Birthday Vera episode, I think it was episode 6.
We like to call it tongue in a box episode.
Yeah. But the tongue in the box aside, seeing that backstory of Vera and watching her, how much she is so uncomfortable with birthdays, from what she's gone through with her childhood with her mother, and what birthdays have meant to her and all what they haven't meant to her, and her just being completely almost, like, I'm going to use the word, freaked out by people actually caring and wanting to celebrate a birthday. And I think you finally see her go, hang on, actually, I'm going to be vulnerable and I'm going to let Jake spoil me on this day.
Yeah.
And then it all turns to shit.
Yes.
But it's another really great moment where you get to see that vulnerability of Vera and how hard it is for her to pull down that wall and let someone in.
Yeah.
So I think by the time we are where we now at 10, she's well and truly let Jake in. She's let the wall completely down. She's in love with him.
Yeah.
She's in love with the idea of him. And she's
it's been an ongoing conflict for Vera, and it's been such a journey from the first episode. We see this kind of slightly downtrodden, innocuous mouse who kind of, aspirationally wants to step up, but she's always slightly, kind of plagued by, low self-esteem. And then, so she started there, and then she comes under the wing of Ferguson, and she's slightly corrupted by this, there's us and them, and she could very easily have fallen into that trap of going, well, I'm the governor, you are prisoners, and I'm, she could have adopted more of Ferguson's ways, but it's always a struggle for her to, as someone, the bullied can become bullies and the oppressed can become oppressors, and that could happen to Vera, and it very well and almost did happen under,
Ferguson.
The tenure of Ferguson. But that's always an internal struggle for Vera, and I think she's one of the characters in the show where, and this comes in fits and starts, but her conflict is often incredibly internal, and we don't see that a lot. There's so much kind of external conflict, fights and rivalries, and a lot of Vera's is internal. And I think everyone goes to different degrees. Obviously, the stakes are extraordinarily high for Vera. She's the governor of a prison, and she's never been in a healthy relationship, and thinks she's in love for the first time, and so the stakes are really high. But I think everyone's had those internal conflicts of wanting to do the right thing and being under the influence of other people, and they're very accessible conflicts. I think
one of the great things you do with the role, though, is that through your eyes, through your face, through what you project without any words, it's like you can see that internal conflict going on in Vera's head. So sometimes she might just give a look, or she might just give a, and you can see that conflict going in her head. It doesn't actually have to be explained. You just can, audiences can just see that. It's amazing.
And I think the relationship with Jake is a real intensification of that. And it's not easy to play. I read the scripts and go, are you shitting me? But you have to remember that she only sees one dimension of that. And
yes. So we saw at the end of this episode that Vera gets sidelined by Channing. What? So we basically saw Turk storm the house, freak Vera out. She started to question Jake, but I think Jake won her over. We saw Jake go in and try and tell Turk that he's not doing anymore, which we both know is not going to happen. And then we see Channing do this investigation and then go, hey, I want a cut of it. Let's keep it going. And then sidelines Vera.
And by the way, so it's, look, things can always get worse with Vera. I was going to say, it doesn't get much worse than that. No, things can always get worse. But again, in terms of the trajectory of her whole journey across the show, to get to sit in the governor's chair and hold that position, and then for it to get taken away, it's a pivotal moment. And I think, she doesn't know the machinations of the freak, but I bet she knows that you know, she's involved some way, and that extraordinary rivalry has, you know, poisoned her experience as governor. She knows Channing's a, you know, a fox, not in the good way. Not that kind of fox. Do you know what I mean? You know, the bad,
bad fox,
killing
not a hot
chickens
fox,
kind of fox.
Not a silver
not
fox.
a fantastic Mr. Fox, but you know. So yeah, it's a bad moment.
It is.
Yeah,
it is, and we just know how much that just would kill Vera. That prison is almost her life up until this.
Exactly.
Jake, you know, it has been,
and it's easy to kind of go, well, you know, it's a job. Maybe you should leave and get another job. It doesn't work like that for Vera.
No,
you know,
it's everything to her.
Yeah. And much like Will, as delusional as it might seem, and she's probably taken a few more missteps than Will has, it's partly about self-worth. It's partly, I've always believed that Vera's one of those people that took a job in corrections because somehow she felt she needed to exert power somewhere because she certainly couldn't do it at home. But I think there's another part of her that does care about some of these women as much as she came under the influence of Ferguson. But yeah, that job is it's everything. It's everything. And not just to be in the prison, but to be governor is...
Yeah. And we've been loving Governor Bennett.
Yeah.
She's got a big girl pants on.
Oh, she's getting the swagger on. She's getting it on. Yeah.
She's just been...
And then every now and then...
She's been having some... at the beginning of the season, she was having some amazing wins over the Freak. We were loving it. Like
they were fun.
Like the box, where she delivered the box. I love that scene. That was so good. And then the Freak totally lost it. And before
they're the most fun to play because you know she's going to take a dive. So you're like, I'm going to play this with absolute confidence because I know in the next episode she's going to get slaughtered. So I'll just go for it this episode.
But everyone's been rooting for Vera. It's like Team Vera versus the Freak. Before we move on from unpacking this episode, we cannot move on without talking about the Aman Frankie Freak. Who saw that coming? WTF.
I know.
What the...
I know.
Pamela's just so amazing, and
I know.
You just didn't see that coming. I mean, I think that, you know, it's quite genius how the whole Iman, Mike Nisi storyline connects for Frankie.
Yeah.
And you sort of all of a sudden go, oh my God, like, this is Frankie's chance of redemption.
Yeah.
And just the way in which the Freak and only the Freak can take that away from her is just... I want to say magical, but it's not the right word.
Oh,
but it is. It's so delicious. I want to say delicious.
Yeah, and you also... I mean, the amazing thing about the best villains, and I think Ferguson is one of them, is that it's easy to just make them gratuitously awful. But there's always a game plan. She's always got a... but that was one of those moments where for a moment you had to go, hang on, how is that? Are you just being a crazy person? How does this all fit in? But it's... You know, we all read it in the script, but when I saw it in the episode, it's just striking.
It's so intense. And the gloves back out, we haven't seen the gloves for a while, so it was just...
Yeah. It's...
And the pure horror on Frankie's face just was like, you know, it was just an amazing scene.
Yeah.
One that we didn't see coming, but...
No.
And now we're left with what happens for Frankie from here. So
I know.
Awesome episode, and this is the part that you guys like to move on. We're going to talk about Kate now. We're going to talk about some more things and throw back and talk about some other things. So one of the biggest things that fans always talk about is the evolution of characters, and we've touched on it, but we've seen such an evolution of Vera from season 1 to where we're standing now. Can you walk us through how your approach to that and how you've taken her through those different story arcs to get to where she is now?
Well, the first thing I would say is that I'm in the hands of the writers. So they've designed that beautifully, and I don't think anyone knew from the get-go how long Wentworth would last. It just doesn't work like that in Australian TV. You know, you have to roll with the punches, and series keep being made as and when we're able to. So it feels like they've been incredibly strategic. I don't know if they've been able to, but it feels like they've been incredibly strategic. So the first thing I would say is that I am subject to the script, and I pay heed to that, and I look at the journey in the scripts. I don't know if it was their intention to, because, you know, a lot of characters have kind of an overarching purpose and an overarching kind of agenda, and it kind of stays that way. Different kind of influences have come into Vera's life. Ferguson was obviously one of the most potent. But I guess I would say is that I do what the script asks of me, and then I guess, you know, I have an extraordinary bunch of colleagues to work against, so that influences. I mean, the trajectory of me and Pam in particular was kind of its own little magic duet, and we kind of worked off each other, and that helped me make decisions. But I do what the script asks, and then you find your own personal ways of inhabiting that to make it as authentic as possible. And I'll be very quick to say that my life is nothing like Vera's, but you always try and find ways of making the moment real, and that can come from all different sources: your imagination, real life experience, you know, maybe advice, or, you know, from the director or another actor, or so. Look, it's just been an amalgam of, you know, working practices. I mean, actors have lots of tricks in their bags. That's the job.
And I think one of the great things is watching is, as you just mentioned, the different interactions that Vera's had with people over the seasons. So we saw Fletch, we saw that relationship. We've obviously got the freak relationship. We've always had the Will, you know, window. And then I think this season we've seen a really nice relationship blossom between Vera and Bridget. And it seems like a real sense of friendship. And I don't think we've seen Vera have a female friend like that before.
Because she hasn't got one. So it's very special. I'm glad you raised that, because it's really quite liberating to play those scenes as well. And I think even as an actor, I'm so used to playing Vera in a certain way that even Libby's way of working kind of makes me go, ooh. She'll kind of inject something into the scene that makes Vera respond in a slightly different way, which is, you know, I think Vera probably really enjoys, but is still sometimes a little shocked or guarded by. But no, it's a really lovely thing that they've...
Because it hasn't been one way. I mean, we saw at the end of the previous season where it was Vera leaning on Bridget, and that was hard for her to do, and she did that. And then we've seen now Bridget leaning on Vera. It's really nice to see the two sides.
And it's also a tricky one, because Frankie is a prisoner in her prison, and it's a fine line, and one that you kind of have to look at in the script to go, well, how much of a blind eye? She can't offer Frankie special privileges. She's well aware of the relationship with Bridget. So it's that conflict between being a friend and being a governor, and that's when you ask about the evolution of Vera's character, it's different, I guess, to being an officer or the deputy governor and being governor and dealing with these kind of professional, personal, ethical conflicts. So it's fun.
It's so fun. And so like we said, we've really seen Vera come into her own this season. We've seen seen this vulnerable side to her, and I guess a lot of the fans are asking, and when they're viewing it, is do we think that Jake is capable of officially breaking Vera? Or is it going to come from the freak, or is it going to come from where, or has she actually gotten so strong that she can hold her own? I told you this interrogation was going to be hard.
Yeah. Well, I think that's yet to be seen. I mean, I could speculate in a parallel universe as opposed to the scripts that I know I've already acted. I think that's very open to speculate. Because people can go, you know, it just as a universal question, people can go one of two ways in those situations. Yeah. When you get hit by a tough decision or a crushing blow, some people are crushed and some people are resilient. And that's one of life's great lessons, you know. Yeah. And I can't speculate.
We'll see
as
which way.
To,
I tried, guys. I really tried
but
to get
people
some
can.
storylines out of her.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to share.
No. Oh, no. I've had 2 glasses of wines and I'm still
All right.
immovable. Lucky I've got this tea.
So let's go right back. Let's see if I can jog your memory too. When you were first presented with the character of Vera Bennett, what were your first thoughts?
I was like, I really want to play a character called Vinegar Tits. I really wanted to be the bad character. And so some of the fans may or may not have been fans of Prisoner, so I know we've got a whole new audience now. But when we first were presented with this project, it was still kind of in the guise of this is a reinvention or an homage to a much-loved Australian show called Prisoner. And there was a much-loved character called Vinegar Tits. Well, loved in the sense she was a villain. And so I knew Vera Bennett was Vinegar Tits. I was like, yeah. Because I often get the nice characters and the warm characters and the cuddly characters and the comical characters. I play a lot of comic characters. And I was like, yeah. And then I read the scripts and I went, oh. Because she was the slightly more, well, she certainly wasn't the Vinegar Tits that she became.
No,
So I was like, oh, hang on. But it was explained to me that there was kind of an evolution of this character. Anyway, I was intrigued by her. But to be honest, I didn't think I would ever be exploring the territory that I've been exploring. So it's just been... I was so happy to take the job because it was such a... I knew a lot of the rest of the cast that were being... I knew it was going to be in a great bunch of people. I was so proud to be part of a show that was predominantly driven by complex female characters. The great production team behind it, an enormous support of Foxtel. It was a really risky project and it could have gone a number of ways. So in the general scheme of things, I was very happy to take the job. But in the bigger scheme of what was going to happen to that character and who or what might happen to her, I didn't really know, but I was pretty happy to go on the ride.
Right.
And looking back now, it's so weird to be
an
looking at
amazing ride.
season 5
Yeah.
and it's
been a great ride.
It's been a great
for Vera.
ride. Yeah.
And I guess this is another question that comes up from the fans a lot, is could you name like your single most intense scene that you've had to film? If you could just pick one. Because, I mean, you and Pamela have some pretty amazing scenes.
I know they seem intense, but when we're doing them, they're so dark and they go into such extraordinary psychologically combative. But because we both love our job and we both love working together, I know this sounds perverse, but they're really fun. They're really intense. They're really... when you're working opposite an actor like that and you feel prepared and they're prepared and the crew is prepared and you've got the best people filming you and the best people editing you and it's really easy. I think one of the weirdest ones was back in season 2, 3, the Vinegar Tits episode. I had to slip around in vinegar for 3 hours so they could shoot it from every possible known angle and make it look... It was just water. It was just water.
Say, I thought you had to be doused in vinegar.
No, but in Pretendies land, it was vinegar. And that was just physically, like, we had a safety officer, and I was like, guys, I'm just slipping around in a bit of water. I'm from WA, I can swim, it's fine. But we had a safety officer, and I had to do all this, and by the end of the day, I was like... It's like learning to surf for the first time. I had to push myself off the ground for hours. So by the end of the day, I was like, oh, hello, that hurt. I think it was just intense because I was alone in a little room with lots of cameras.
And you're just flopping around.
Yeah, flopping around. Whereas doing a two-hander with Pam Rabe, even though the material seems intense, is actually a lot of fun.
And, I talked to Robbie about this because obviously he didn't really deal well with the juicy tongue vomit scene at all. He had a little bit of trouble for the big strong man that he is. He doesn't really have a very strong stomach. How's it from your angle, copying the...
Oh, mate, I've got an iron stomach. That Mangasiva guy, what a wimp. I was like, "Gee, seriously, have a bit of a vom, had a little vom." It was fruit puree, just so you know.
It looks very jammy.
It was jammy and clotty. They were clots, blood clots. We had to do, because we shoot out of sequence, we had to shoot a scene where she'd already vomited the blood on me, and then we went back and did the actual thing. So we had to just go outside. I mean, all in a day's work. I had to stand on this big plastic sheet. We had to simulate what she was going to do so that it would, continuity-wise. So I just stand there on this big plastic sheet, and she just had to come at me with this fruit puree. And that was when Robbie was in the corner just going, oh. Anyway, look, I'm all about the picture. I was like, does it look good? Does it look good? Great.
How are the blood chunks?
Thumbs up. Let's go.
And I guess another one that we always love to ask is, what do you love most about the series? It's been 5 seasons now. Is there, I mean, I'm sure there's a million things that you love, but is there one thing that you just love most about being on this series?
Look, I think there's 2 things. One is that I love the job. I just really like the people that I work with. I like the unique environment that we have in that we work in one place. The production team is there, the editors are there, the writers are there. We have unprecedented access to our writing team and the producers. So the actors have a very privileged position that we can access the writing department very quickly. We're made to feel like a big part of the enormous machine that is making a TV show. And by season 5, that's so integrated, and I just really like the people I work with. So on a personal level, it's a good job. We shoot 12 episodes, so that means I can do other jobs. You know, I can do a bit of theatre, and which I've been able to do. Yeah, so I've done a few shows with the Melbourne Theatre Company in the last couple of years. So it's a good job, and you should never take that for granted when you're an actor in Australia. You know. But I love the show as well. Like, as an audience member, I read the scripts, but because some of our stories are independent of each other's, I read the scripts, I know what's happening, but then I watch the show back and see how those other actors bring their stories to life, and I see how the camera department has filmed it, and I hear what the sound department have done and the editors have done, you know, and I just think it's a good show. And I particularly like, I know it's really hard to lose characters that you love, but at a narrative level, at a really risky drama-telling, transformative, how do we keep building and making this show alive and brave, I love that it does that, and not many shows do that. It means any one of us could die at any minute.
It's kind of like Game of Thrones, but in Australia, isn't it? Like, you never know who's going to go.
And it also means, you know, you win some, you lose some. We get, you know, it's the nature of a prison show that you get new inmates all the time. So it means we get all these fantastic, you know, new faces. So
incoming.
Yeah. So that it's just a constant evolution. No one can get comfortable. I think that's...
and that's what keeps all of our amazing fans on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, and it does us, those of us who are there reading the scripts every week going, what am I doing this week? Oh, God. Tongue in a box.
Tongue in a box. Have that, baby, Vera. All right, I'm going to let you have a little bit of a reprieve, and we're going to play a bit of a game. So... You've seen how this goes?
I haven't, but you told me.
You told me. All right. Well,
sorry.
So
the fans probably
you've got
know me
an innocent or guilty. Yeah. I'm going to ask you some questions, and you need to tell me honestly. Remember, you're in an interrogation room. I would like to say you're under oath, but I'm just going to say it so that you have to tell me honestly.
I am an advocate for the jury system.
Yes.
But anyway, never mind.
So,
one here today.
Are you ready?
Are these personal questions or shows to...
Personal. It's all about you. It's interrogating you. Ready? Kate Atkinson, have you ever been in a fight? Okay.
A physical fight?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Guys, I thought I had a story.
All kinds of fights, people.
I thought you might have
I thought.
punched someone in the tits.
No, not a physical fight.
Have you ever called into work because you were hungover? Innocent. Do you have any tattoos? Innocent. Do you sing in the shower?
This is boring.
Guilty. We've got one. A really hard one there. Do you have a go-to shower tune?
Someone asked me what was my guilty confession, and I said to them, I like the Dixie Chicks version of Landslide better than Fleetwood Mac. That was like the worst thing I could think of. It's like, is that really bad? So yeah, things like the Dixie Chicks. It's really bad.
Have you ever been arrested? Innocent. Have you ever sent a text to the wrong person? Haven't we all?
Yeah.
Have you ever been totally freaked out by a fan? Guilty. I won't make you elaborate. Have you ever done
only one? It was only one.
Everyone.
There's
always one.
Yeah.
There's always
Let
one
them
person
ruin
in
it
the
for the
group.
rest of you.
Have you ever done a nudie run? Everyone leaves that up to Tammy.
Apart from my house, my own house.
Have you ever re-gifted a gift?
Oh, fuck. Oh gosh, yes.
You can say fuck. It's all right.
I sent my mum. Oh, sorry.
Tell us the story. What did you send your mum? You
I
re-gifted
just
to your
sent
mum?
it. You know when you go to the Logies and so I'm just looking at our PR person over there. You know you go to the Logies and they give you these lovely gifts. They gave us this really lovely perfume this year, but I sent it to my mum for Mother's Day.
So you re-gifted a Logie's gift back to your mum. I hope your mum's watching right now.
No, I told her. She really liked it. Yeah, she really liked it.
Have you ever considered being on a reality series? No.
Oh, how quickly can I say no?
The Secret Life of Kate Atco.
This is as close as it gets.
Have you ever forgotten your lines?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Guilty. Have you ever had a crush on a castmate? Not just Wentworth, in anything.
Crush is a nebulous term.
Innocent.
Oh.
Have fans ever mistaken you for somebody else?
You'd have to ask them, surely.
Like just people come up to you and say the wrong name or the wrong thing.
No, they've been pretty good.
Innocent. This is feeling very Vera-esque. I'm sorry.
I know.
This is the last one.
Well, they do this thing where they kind of know it's you, but they're too embarrassed to come. It's more embarrassing for me, let me tell you. When they kind of just stare at you for hours, it's almost nicer if you just come up and go,
hello,
hi, and then that's really nice.
Don't just stare at me.
Yeah, because then I just think either I'm looking tremendous or I've got a booger hanging out of my nose or something.
And the last one, it's a tough one. And I'm pretty sure you're probably going to say innocent just as that's how it's been going. Do you ever go commando?
Oh.
There you have it.
No.
Innocent, absolutely. A little innocent Vera innocent or guilty game there, guys. Sorry.
If any actor has said they have never forgotten their lines,
no, they all say that.
I would want to take them up on that.
They all say they have.
We've all forgotten our lines. It's not
and they all just say that the nudie runs get taken over by Tammy, which we know that. So Tammy loves a good nudie run. All right, so now we're going to the hard-hitting questions we're throwing to the audience. This is the part they love most. And I can tell you this now, as history's done it, like this is our 10th interrogation room. Their questions are way harder than mine, okay. So you better get ready.
I'm just going to put my little shawl on because I'm getting
cold. It's getting
cold.
a bit cold. It is cold in here. Well, that's the whole point.
Sorry, I've come from Melbourne to Sydney for the weather.
We like to keep you uncomfortable. You can't be comfortable in an interrogation room, otherwise you're not going to tell me the truth.
Ooh, there we go. I'm not wearing teal, I'm the governor.
Give you a Wentworth jumper. Okay, this one here is from Leanne Clark. Hi Kate, what is your favourite off-screen moment with Pamela?
Oh gosh. Oh, that's such a good question. I think everyone's seen that, haven't they? It was kind of on screen. Pamela and I did quite like manufacturing our own bloopers. Some of you may have seen this, and look, it's probably online somewhere. But the makeup team and I decided to manufacture a much bigger bun than Pamela's. And yeah, I walked into a scene and tried to get Pamela to continue the scene while I wore a gargantuan bun. Like it was twice the size of my head. But honestly, that was an example of many. We just, look, we had a lot of laughs, but I think generally my favourite moments with Pam, we kind of shared a little room in the green room, and we would sit there with our scripts and puzzle over scenes. And, you know, there'd be some scenes where we'd go, oh, we'll just nail that on the day. And there'd be other scenes where she's a very meticulous worker, and there might be something that's working, but we can make it better. I think my favourite moments with Pam were,
I think that's great about
devising how to make scenes, you know,
and
come alive.
It's a great across the show, because a lot of you always talk about too, where you do have these scripts, and they're amazing scripts by the writers, but you all improv a lot and try things and twist things and change things, which to work on that amazing script, which is really cool.
We try not to improv so much on set, in that, you know, everyone likes to know what they're getting once we walk on set. But if Pam and I come up with an idea and go to the writers and say, oh, just got a little offer, you can reject it if you want, but could we? And very often they go, oh yeah, let's.
Yeah.
So those were the moments I enjoyed.
This is from Chloe Marie Baisley. Does your script ever annoy you because you've had so many chances to take the freak down and then you don't get to?
No, it doesn't annoy me, because I kind of have faith in the larger scheme of the project. And so what I might find annoying as me, well, Vera obviously finds annoying. Vera's annoyed. But in the larger dramatic scheme of things, I'm like, oh, God. You know, it takes extraordinary patience. You think, what's the dramatic payoff going to be? So no, I don't get annoyed. No.
This one is from Michelle Williams. Is it weird working with Martin, as both your characters are very different since your Blue Healer days?
Oh!
For those that don't know Martin, that's
Marty
Channing.
Sachs.
Yeah.
That's so funny, because I was just at this Foxtel thing earlier this evening, and Marty's name came up. I can't remember who it was. Anyway, we were talking about Martin, and I said, yes, I worked with him many years ago on Blue Healers, and Blue Healers was one of my first TV jobs when I moved from Perth to Melbourne. And I find it hilarious working with Marty as Channing, because I have known him for that long, and he is one of the gentlest, kindest, you know, for someone who's been around a long time, takes everything, you know, takes the work very seriously. He's such a joy to work with. And then you just look at Channing and go, you're such an ass.
Yeah, he plays
You're such an ass.
He plays that kind of like jerk role really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, and he's so not. So he just relishes it. Relishes it. So it's a lovely question, because it's, you know, a lot of times you have long histories with, for example, Sigrid Thornton and I did a show many years ago together called Sea Change. Sigrid was the lead in that, and that was one of my formative TV experiences. So, you know, we meet in all different incarnations.
This is a cute one, Justin Richards. I don't think so, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I think it'll make Kate laugh. Is there a chance that you and Mr. J will get together down the track?
Oh, we do joke. We have had jokes about it, to be quite honest.
Even just the actual physicality of Mr. Jackson and Vera.
Yeah. Look, I don't think it's in the pipeline. I have thought to campaign
You
for it.
don't know where the writers are going to go. You don't know. It could happen.
But no, it's a very nice thought. And yes. Oh, how boring though. You can't have two nice people getting together. Dullsville.
This is from, flicked away. Jodie Hannah Trower. Hi Kate, I'm a really big fan of yours. If you were an inmate on Wentworth, which one would you be?
Ooh. I reflexively just wanted to say Frankie, because, you know, she's just cool and fun.
Frankie,
she's
all the tats on.
She's just so... I'm just trying to think of the absolute opposite of Vera. Someone who's kind of, you know, sassy.
Badass.
And, you know, she's just the opposite of Vera. Maybe Frankie.
Michelle McKean. I saw you recently in the play The Three Little Words, and you were amazing, capitals. Do you have a preference between TV acting and live performance?
No, I don't have a preference. It's a really good question. What I love is being able to do both, because they're both totally different disciplines. And when you're doing theatre, you have the joy of being in a rehearsal room, and that particular play that you saw, I was working with 3 other beautiful actors and a great director, and anyway, we had just a brilliant time. And theatre's such a actors, writers medium. You know, once you're out of the rehearsal room, it's you on a stage with the audience, and it's really hard work. And by the time you get to the end of a season, you're like, oh gosh, glad that's done. It's nerve-wracking to wait in the wings and get on stage. And TV I love because you've still got to bring all that technique to play. You've still got to act. You've still got to bring all that preparation and authenticity and all the stuff. But there's this whole other machine that moves around you. And I love that as well. I love watching how camera departments work, and I love seeing editors bring it together. I love, watching directors having to take charge of every department. I love how 50 people are working together to get one frame just right.
Yeah.
I love that. And then and then you can manipulate it later, and so I love them both.
They're equal.
But so different. So different, but I love them both.
This is from Amy. I don't know how to pronounce your surname, so I'm going to say Amy Lewis. Hi, gorgeous Kate. Your chemistry on and off screen with Pam is nothing short of incredible. What is it like to transition from working with her as a governor to now working with her as an inmate? And are there any fun anecdotes that you can share?
Oh gosh. It's such a general bubble of fun. I can't think of anything specific. To be honest, I sometimes miss the governor, deputy governor thing. It was pretty fun. But then I love those kind of gleeful moments when Vera gets one up. I'm so sorry I can't come up with a delightful question for an answer. No, we generally just look after each other. And look, there's days where, just so you think we're not just screwing around all the time, there's days where you've got to get the stuff shot. Sure. And, sometimes we have time to improvise and play, and other days you've just got to get it done very quickly. Yeah. And she's very good at doing that as well. So, I'm sorry, I can't think of a specific anecdote, but
that's okay. Sometimes people say in interrogation.
I'll probably think of one.
No comment.
I'll probably think of one half an hour from now. Or you could
ask to see your lawyer.
Yeah.
This is from Courtney Clayton. Who's your bestie on set?
I can't.
You don't have a bestie. You have a couple of besties, or is everyone your bestie?
Well, as I say, Pam and I do tend to kind of squirrel ourselves into a little corner.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Oh gosh, they're all so great. And also you've got to remember, some of us have a long history. So people like Celia, Sharina, Katrina, we've all been there from day dot, Robbie, so some of us have a very long history. So if that makes you a bestie, then, those guys...
You've just got a squad.
Yeah.
You don't have one bestie, you have a squad.
Yeah. So, look, I do probably have a special friendship with Pam. I have to say Robbie is, the king of mirth, and, he brings the family together. He's our social coordinator. And he's a great mate. But I look... the nature of this show, it's hard to isolate because we all have to work very closely.
You love everyone. Siobhan Bailey, if you had Vera as your friend, what would you say to her?
Find another job, meathead. No. That's a really good question.
Wake up?
Yeah, I think this is kind of harking back to the lovely question about the play I just did. One of the questions in that play was kind of about the nature of friendship. And I think there's kind of two schools of thinking. Friends should just be there to support and, agree. And other people think friends should be there to, articulate hard truths and slap you around a bit. And I've got friends now that I think sometimes telling them something they need to be told is probably a good thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to be insensitive, but you could say, maybe you might want
Tough
to
love.
investigate this information.
Maybe you don't want to wear those shoes.
Take a look at yeah.
Just maybe.
Keep the governor pants, but
Have you got anything else that you could wear today?
yeah.
That bun.
I think when it comes to Jake, if someone came to me with doubts or questions, I would say you should probably listen to those.
Yeah.
Listen to them now, not later.
This is a really good question from Al Ross, and I don't know if it's going to stump you, but I'm going to ask you.
I bet it will.
It's very, very good question. Is it given that Vera is easily manipulated from her mum, from the freak, and now Jake? But we have seen Vera grow this season. Do you see Vera growing independence, or do you think she will always be someone who will fall into manipulative relationships? Boom! Mic drop question, Al Ross. Well, he should write my questions. Who is this Al Ross? It's a great question.
Well, I think there's two answers to that. One is for the script department to answer, because they deal with Vera's fictitious life, and they'll decide what her story is going to be. In a totally parallel universe that has nothing to do with any scripts that may or may not happen, I think, like I said before, some people can be crushed by bad experiences, some people can learn from them. And I just think that Vera has had limited experiences, these things. And I reckon if things happen to her often enough, there will be a limit, and she'll go, that's it, enough.
And she has grown. Like, she was manipulated by her mother for a very, very, very long time. And I don't think that she moved into being manipulated by the freak or by Ferguson, because Ferguson put an end to her mother's manipulation.
And so let's face it, the freak was pretty persuasive.
Yeah, and it was like she idolised her.
Yeah,
because she gave
absolutely.
her freedom. And then Jake is a different thing, because I think Vera just wants to be loved and give love in return. So it's a different sense of manipulation.
But I would like to think that she'd probably put an end to that eventually.
Yeah. Guys, these questions are very, very good. There's so many great ones here.
Guys.
I'm trying to find some because I'm going to have to wrap Kate up soon, because it's getting late, and and some of them are so great. I'm just trying to pick some ones that we haven't sort of touched on.
Doing a great job, Kelly, by the way.
I know.
It's not easy.
This is a good one, because I love this scene. This is from Phoebe Lawler. When Juice came to you saying that she was going to be top dog, was the laugh in the script, or did that just generally?
No, it was in the script. It was in the script.
It was the best scene.
It was in the script. It's just like I said, I'm just doing what I'm told.
It was a very good
It was
scene.
in the script. Clearly I interpreted it in my own way. But yes, it was always intended that Vera would have a little giggle. I probably
But it was
made
so
it
authentic,
bigger.
because it was, and poor Juice's face was like,
I know.
is Vinny Chicks really laughing?
Well, we actually did quite a few takes, or not quite a few, but we did a few versions of it, so it's funny that they chose that one, but anyway.
This is from our friend Liam, isn't it? Wentworth Memes. Did you know that your green cardie has its own Twitter account?
Do you know what? I'm so mortified by that, because it means that all the fans know how limited my wardrobe is. I'm very upset.
didn't know that.
I've got one piece of sparkly clothing, and every time I go out to an event, I go, "Oh, put the sparkly cardigan on. That'll do."
Can you imagine if you showed
Got
up
like some ratty old t-shirt? Oh, put the sparkly cardigan on. That'll read.
We went live tonight.
I'm so sorry. I'm not wearing
And
it
you had it
ever
on.
again.
I feel like you should have brought it tonight.
So embarrassed.
Get it out of your bag. I did not know that it had its own Twitter account. That is.
I'm really embarrassed.
Oh, this is a cute one. This is from Elaine McGregor. How is your puppy dog going? Have you and Jenko had puppy play dates?
We haven't yet. I was going to say something mean. I'm not going to say it. I was going to say I've got a proper dog. She's got a chihuahua. No. I haven't met Bowie. He looks lovely, and yes, they will meet, I'm sure. And she's going very well. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
And this is quite an intriguing question from Jamie Bell. If you could give a piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Me or Vera? Oh,
you.
Me, I guess. I was a pretty self-contained kind of kid. I would. Oh gosh. I would say.
Don't wear the green cardigan.
Well,
so
no,
much.
don't take yourself too seriously, but take seriously what you do.
That's a good quote.
And don't wear a green cardi to every social event.
We're going to start doing this because, like, Katrina, I don't know if you saw Katrina last week. Her question to her advice to younger self was, don't wear shorts. Never, ever again. She told us her short story. Yours is a green cardigan. I feel like we need to ask every single Wentworth cast member what item of clothing should they not wear.
Never wear again.
That'll be our next line of
questioning. I like my green cardi, but now every time I go out, it's like, oh, what if someone takes a photo? What if it ends up on social media? Oh, it's terrible.
All right, and I'll give you two more. This is an easy one. This is from Paul Bithell. Do you like Nutella?
Not really.
Oh.
Not really. I'm a savoury breakfast person.
And this is the last one, and it's going to Stacey Hollins. Kate, do you think Vera will become a badass and end up as an inmate and then become top dog?
Oh, I like that. Can you send that to the script writers?
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys know the address, send it through.
I don't know, yeah. Again, not my area, but gee.
Suggestions.
I could get a tat.
And then the last question that we ask everyone, so it's very serious, is what TV series on Foxtel do you like to binge on? You can't say Wentworth.
And I can't say AFL football, can I? No.
Well, that's what Robbie would just name every sport. Robbie just goes through the sport channels. You like Game of Thrones?
I do. Game of Thrones. You know, I like a bit of a wildlife documentary. But yeah, it's Foxtel footy at my friend's house and my house.
So you can binge on footy.
Well, because a lot of the commercial stations won't play Fremantle games, so I have to go to Foxtel.
That's the bad thing. That's a promo there.
So yeah, it's so Victorian obsessed. You've got to go to Foxtel to watch your Fremantle teams.
Yeah. All right, we're on to the final 15, so we're on the home stretch. So I am going to give you 15 alternative questions, and you have to be like...
There's more?
Boom,
Okay.
boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
No procrastination, no, oh, I like both. One or the other.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry, just let me get the rules clear, because I'm a
I'm gonna give you-
rules-based kind of
I'm
gal.
going to give you two options, and you have to instinctively...
I
tell me
can't
which.
go both.
No. No fence sitting. No fence sitting.
All right, so best I don't think about them. Okay.
Yep. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Sydney or Melbourne?
Melbourne,
Beer or wine?
wine,
Will or Jake?
Will. Oh, Freudian.
Oh! Phone call or text?
Phone call,
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram,
Passenger or driver?
driver.
TV or book?
Oh, that's impossible.
TV or book?
TV,
Winter or summer?
summer,
Heels or sneakers?
sneakers.
Dine in or dine out?
Oh, that's impossible too. Dine out,
Fries or salad?
salad,
Loud or quiet?
quiet,
Comedy or drama?
drama,
Sweet or savoury?
savoury,
And tea or coffee?
coffee.
Done.
Wow, there are a couple of those where...
They were pretty
shit,
hardcore.
really?
Yeah.
Because really, life is both, isn't it? Comedy, drama.
Yeah, but you had to just say one and stick to it. Well, wow, you made it through our interrogation room.
Wow.
Very well done. And you did it on your own this time.
I did.
Not
without the
Kate.
Green Cardi, without the support of the Green Cardi.
No Green Cardi and without Kate Jenko.
Yeah.
We are super excited. We've got 3 episodes to go to the end of this season.
Wow.
No, 2 episodes. This was the 3rd. 2 episodes to go. Countdown is on.
Thank you for supporting this season, guys. It's just extraordinary that we're still going, and yes, it was a big adventure this season, so thank you.
Yes, and now with the new Foxtel Now, more people will be able to jump on board and they get to, you know what the cool thing is? People that haven't been watching Wentworth, which I think they must be living under a rock or obscure or whatever, they get to actually have this amazing binge of seasons 1 to 5. That's a dedicated binge sesh like there. That's exciting. But for those of you that are diehard fans, which are most of you tuning in, we've got 2 eps to go to the season finale. So make sure you tune in at 8:30 on Tuesday on Foxtel Showcase. Thank you so much, Kate, for joining us, and thank you for letting us interrogate you.
Pleasure.
And keeping you up so late. It's very late. You should be in your pajamas and slippers and in bed.
I really should be not be having high hair.
No, but thank you so much, and everyone keep watching, and let's see what happens for Vera in the next 2 episodes.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you,
See
everyone.
ya.